You probably already know how to use trig to solve for sides in triangles. You can also use trig to solve for angles in triangles. If you have a couple of sides and you want to find an angle, you can do it, as long as it's a right triangle, of course. Let me show you how this works with this first problem. We've got a right triangle with the sides 9 and 18 here, and then this angle x that we want to find. The first step, just as it is in solving for sides, is that you want to consider the perspective from this angle and ask yourself, what are these sides in terms of uh, opposite, adjacent, or hypotenuse? Here we have the adjacent side. This is the side that touches the angle, but it's not the hypotenuse, so that's the adjacent side. And over here, we have the side that's opposite from the angle. So we have adjacent and opposite. That means it's going to be tangent. Tangent is the opposite over the adjacent. So we'd take the opposite, we'd put it over the adjacent, and that would equal the tangent of, and instead of some angle that we already have, it's the tangent of x. Once you get it set up like this, it's time to pull out your calculator. What you're going to do is calculate this part and then take the inverse tangent to find x. So if you've got tangent of x or some trig function of x alone on this side, calculate this part and then do the inverse function. So let me show you. I've got 18 divided by 9, that's 2 of course. And then we're going to take the inverse tangent. The way to get inverse on this Windows 10 calculator is to press this up arrow, and then you get tangent to the -1. Well, that's really not to the -1. That's the inverse of the tangent. And we'll take that, and we get 63.43. And we probably just want to see if that makes sense. Does this look like it could be a 63-degree angle? Yeah, I think so. So 63.43 is our answer. So calculate and then do the inverse function. Let's look at one more. Here we have this angle x, and actually we have all three sides in the triangle. What that means is it's kind of our choice. We could use the sine, the cosine, the tangent. Well, sine is my favorite, so I'm going to find the opposite and the hypotenuse. The opposite here is 12, and the hypotenuse is 13. So our not tangent, sine of x equals the opposite, which is 12, over the hypotenuse of 13. So that's our setup. Now we're ready to bring out the calculator. We're going to do 12 divided by 13, and then we'll take the inverse sine. This is still in inverse. I didn't click the arrow again. So we'll take that inverse sine, and we've got 67.38 for the number of degrees in that angle. And that does seem to make sense from this picture. This could be a 67-degree angle. Again, if you're using degrees, you want to make sure you're in degrees on your calculator, not radians or gradients. But that is a little bit about how to use trig to solve for angles.